Beyond the threshold, in the quaint village of Eldermor, where the fog clung to the cobblestones like a shroud, there stood an ancient manor known as Blackwood House. It was a place whispered about in hushed tones, a relic of a bygone era that loomed over the village like a dark sentinel. The townsfolk avoided it, their eyes darting away whenever someone mentioned its name, as if merely speaking of it could summon something sinister. The manor had been abandoned for decades, its windows boarded up, its doors locked tight. Yet, on the night of the harvest moon, a curious figure approached the threshold. Clara, a young woman with a penchant for the mysterious, had always been drawn to the stories that surrounded Blackwood House. She had heard the tales of the family that once lived there, of the tragic events that led to their disappearance, and of the strange occurrences that plagued the manor ever since. With a flickering lantern in hand, Clara stepped onto the creaking porch, the wood groaning beneath her weight. The air was thick with an unsettling stillness, as if the very atmosphere held its breath in anticipation. She hesitated for a moment, her heart pounding in her chest, but the allure of the unknown was too strong to resist. She pushed open the heavy door, which protested with a low, mournful creak, and stepped inside. The interior was cloaked in shadows, the moonlight filtering through the grime-covered windows, casting eerie patterns on the floor. Dust motes danced in the air, swirling around her like lost souls. Clara's breath quickened as she ventured deeper into the house, her lantern illuminating the remnants of a life once lived. Tattered curtains hung limply, and furniture lay draped in white sheets, resembling ghostly figures frozen in time. As she explored, Clara felt an inexplicable pull toward the grand staircase that spiraled upward into darkness. Each step she took echoed through the empty halls, a reminder that she was utterly alone. But she was not afraid. Rather, she was exhilarated by the thrill of discovery. What secrets lay beyond the threshold of the upper floors? Reaching the landing, Clara noticed a door at the end of the hallway, slightly ajar. A faint light flickered from within, beckoning her closer. She approached cautiously, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. As she pushed the door open, a chill swept through the air, and the light revealed a room that seemed untouched by time. The walls were lined with bookshelves, filled with dusty tomes and peculiar artifacts. In the center of the room stood a large, ornate mirror, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Clara felt an irresistible urge to step closer, drawn to the mirror as if it were a portal to another realm. She reached out, her fingers brushing against the cool glass, and in that moment, the world around her shifted. The reflection in the mirror warped and twisted, revealing a scene that sent shivers down her spine. She saw the Blackwood family, their faces twisted in anguish, trapped in a never-ending cycle of despair. They reached out to her, their mouths moving in silent screams, begging for release. Clara stumbled back, her heart racing as she realized the truth. The manor was not merely abandoned. It was a prison for lost souls. Panic surged through her as she turned to flee, but the door slammed shut, trapping her inside. The air grew thick with a malevolent presence, and shadows danced along the walls, whispering secrets that clawed at her sanity. Clara's mind raced as she searched for an escape, but the mirror held her captive, its surface pulsating with dark energy. In a desperate bid for freedom, Clara recalled the stories she had heard, the legends of a hidden key that could unlock the curse of Blackwood House. With renewed determination, she scoured the room, her fingers trembling as they brushed against the spines of the ancient books. One tome, bound in cracked leather, caught her eye. She pulled it from the shelf, and as she opened it, a gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing her lantern. In the darkness, Clara read the incantation inscribed within the pages, her voice trembling as she spoke the words. The mirror began to tremble, the reflections of the Blackwood family growing more frantic. With each syllable, the shadows writhed, and the air crackled with energy. Clara felt a surge of power coursing through her, and she knew she was close to breaking the curse. As she uttered the final words, the mirror shattered, sending shards of glass flying in every direction. The room erupted in a blinding light, and Clara felt herself being pulled into the void. For a moment, she was weightless, suspended between worlds, before she was thrust back into the hallway of Blackwood House. Gasping for breath, Clara stumbled out of the manor, the night air cool against her skin. Behind her, the house groaned and shuddered, as if releasing a long-held breath. The whispers faded into silence, and the oppressive weight that had hung over Eldermor lifted. Clara turned to look back at the manor, now just a silhouette against the moonlit sky. Though she had escaped, the memory of what lay beyond the threshold would haunt her forever. The stories of Blackwood House would continue, but now they would be tinged with a new understanding, a reminder that some doors, once opened, can never truly be closed.